The mayoral committee in the City of Joburg for housing in Mlungisi Mabaso. Councillor Mabaso, good afternoon to you. Why are you evicting people from these homes?
Thank you very much, Stephen, for having me on the show. Cagro is evicting people. What had happened is that on the Saturday, I received a call from the project manager indicating that people have invaded the units in Fleurhof. And we had planned to start with the allocations on Friday. So we believe that the information had leaked, that we are going to start with allocations on Friday. But Cagro then had promised that they are going to go to court to obtain an interdict, against the invasion so that they protect the unit. As we are going to give them to the rightful beneficiaries that have been identified through the council resolution.
Okay, so you're saying you have a legal right to do this. These people moved in during the lockdown. Did you get a court order to evict them?
Yes, the Cagro did obtain a court order to evict.
Okay, so just to be clear, because this has been an issue of a lot of national debate over the last little while. This has happened in evict, it's happened in the Western Cape in particular. As you understand the law, as the judge has given you a court order, while evictions are illegal during the lockdown, people who move into places or erect shacks during the lockdown, you can evict.
Yes, what had happened, people invaded during lockdown, they invaded on Saturday, and we made it very clear, and we said we are going to respect the pronouncement that was made by the Minister of Human Settlement, and that was also made by the MEC for Human Settlement in Gauteng. So we must not evict people during lockdown because regulation prohibits us from doing that. But we had agreed, that we are going to respond to invasions. We're not going to allow anarchy and lawlessness in the city of Johannesburg. And the MEC also did, I think, reiterated that point when he had a press briefing, in invasions, to say, even though we are not going to evict people during lockdown, but if you invade, you are going to respond immediately. And that's what Cagro has done in Fleurhof, and we said we are in support of what they are doing on the basis that we need to allocate rightful beneficiaries in those units. And we had already set a date, which is Friday, that we are going to allocate there.
Okay, so if you're going to allocate, why didn't you move people in already? I would think that the moment the structure is finished, you move someone in.
Yeah, you need to obtain an occupational certificate first. The unit must be habitable for human use. So those units in Fleurhof have been invaded for quite some time now, and they get vandalized in the process. And we need to pump in funds, taxpayers' money, all the time to refurbish and do remedial work, so that the units are habitable for human use. So that's why we're going to start on Friday. The first batch was to be allocated on Friday, and now we are worried because the units have been vandalized, and there are some remedial work that we must perform first before we start with the allocation.
Councillor Mabaso, I do need to ask, there's a much bigger dynamic that's at play here. We see it all around the country. There's a reason why this is happening in evict, the Western Cape and Gauteng. People move to an urban area. They move to an urban area because they're looking for work, they're looking for money, they're looking for a job. They're happy to work for the money, but they need the money. There's no place for them to live, and so what they do is they then have to erect a shack, or they move into anywhere where they can move into, and that's what's happened here. They invaded a home. What other options do they have?
We had in previous interviews and public meeting that we had with our residents since we came in December. I have been requesting them, and the mayor has been requesting our residents to be patient with us. We know that we've got challenges with the housing backlog. We have 475,000 housing backlog in the city of Johannesburg. But we said we are going to have a lot of projects so that we speed up the process. We have acquired buildings in the inner city, to deal with the low-cost rental units. We are in the process as we speak. We are going in a period of 3 months, to start allocating people into service stands. We are going to launch new mega projects in the city of Johannesburg because we understand the backlog. We understand the insights of people coming to the city of Johannesburg looking